No, I'm not going to strip. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's been a really memorable week for me here at IYAS, and I'd really like to thank the IYAS organizers for the wonderful, wonderful hospitality that you've shown me. I hope that my presence here as a guest and an observer has not been too much of an imposition. I had a great time, and I hope you do too. So thank you so much for having me here this year. I'd also like to thank the fellows for your lively presence in class. You are as talented, restless, intelligent, passionate, committed, and crazy as any group of young writers I've had the privilege of seeing anywhere around the world. Thank you so much. And my first poem, New Eyes, is for you. When you look at the world through new eyes, like a mother on her newborn, or a man in the pride of his first work, nothing comes to you without promise. Everything asks, what would you make of me? Your heart yearns to speak itself aloud. Your voice unlearns its meekness because the world is waiting for you to give it a name. So answer it fully. Let your eyes rest on this, the fetal incompleteness of things, the deep pull of a world unfinished. Because when you stand grounded is how everything will fall into place. I'm not texting as I read. It's just that the fellows pillaged my manuscript yesterday, so I have to resort to reading it off my phone. This is a relatively unread poem of mine, and it's called So Many Ways Our Fathers Mark Us. Not just physical, biological fathers, but literary fathers, intellectual fathers. And I think fathers and mothers have been a theme of the workshop this week, so it seemed appropriate. So many ways our fathers mark us. Each syllable of bone, phrasing of flesh, the skin we put on, a way of letting our fathers speak through and for us, with each other, always a hair's breadth away from refusal. And later the heft and weight of language, oar and rudder on the palate, finding our own stained grammar in the wood ash of their passing, heaving their smoking axes on our tongues. As the shadowy wings behind our mothers remind us also that memory turns to seed. In beatings and beratings, in carefully counted cane strokes which sting on my thigh 20 years after their fading. And he may tell you the names of Ansana, Balsam, Cherry Blossom. He may teach you the meaning of bereft. You may never become him, though you spend your life running to catch up. Already he is in the distance, waving with his arms, which you think beckon you forward. Go elsewhere. Each year you reach less to kiss him. There is less fur to tug at and more snow. Each year he takes one more step into the storehouse of images. He takes his place among the harried shopkeepers, the angels and fallen kings, the sleeping heroes and carpenters. Often we mark our fathers down. You put down the book and he is there, eyes on an elsewhere outside of you. Only when you nudge the door open on an empty room do you truly hear him. The dust whispers it, your footsteps form the vowels, and every day you relearn his name as you clear your throat to speak. And the last poem I've been saving up, I meant to read it yesterday, but I thought it's more appropriate today. I'd like to dedicate it to the spiritual mothers of the IYAS workshop, Dr. Elsie and Marge over there, and there's a good reason for that. The poem was actually inspired by a photograph of Marge holding a bird. I'd just like you to see the photo. Can you see it? So it's a picture of it's a picture of Marjorie holding a baby bird on her wrist. I don't know how you got it to stand. Did you use safety pins or something? But it's a beautiful, beautiful photograph, and it happened. I happened to see it around my birthday, which is near the birthday of my daughter, and it got me thinking about, well, birds and birthdays. So it's called Psalm for Birds and Birthdays. You hold a small bird to your breast. You who have mothered and know what it is to nurse a second fluttering heart, to let your body make space for another as if it were the most natural thing. Now you shape your sure hand lightly into wing, a gesture like prayer of compassion, as free of hesitant desire as the hatchling knows of fear and what must surely come one cloudless day in unmistaken whispers. But this is hope, the clear eye fixed beyond the narrow frame, the fragile talent poised on no more firm foundation than this flesh, the ruffled down sufficient and at trust. But I, a weak father, lack the language and the innocence to call down angels. Yet once I found a fallen nestling whose parents' unschooled artistry could not after all withstand the brief previous evening storms. So it was there blind, leathery, and clawing, ants come already for plunder, when I scooped it not untenderly to shade and covered it with leaves. Was the decent thing to have kept vigil or leave quietly? My daughter, who's 4, knows that goldfish go to heaven when they go, but more to the point, that they don't come back. So she leans on my arm, asks me never to die, her small heart strong enough to love and not tire. What do we do to earn our time on earth? Thank you.
How do you follow that kind of a reading? It's a good thing I have a great smile.